See, the lady says so. That's how this recording starts now, is me going, you see, the lady says so.
It wasn't Sean who said so, it was the lady.
That lady says we're recording. All right, well, welcome to the April meeting, April critique meeting. Hold on a second, I'm just gonna get my notes up here. I actually have notes today. Yes, I did. There we go. All right, so the next meeting at RPAC is May 11th. Some of you who are new to the group, and probably a lot of you who aren't new to the group, don't realize that, or maybe don't realize that that is our 5-year anniversary from having our first meeting at Tanya's house. So we're going to have a little birthday party for the club. And then after that, we're going to do a demo on still life and lighting and how to set up a set for still life photography with some off-camera flash. But also try and, even though we won't have window light, a lot of the principles still apply. So if you want to bring in like a couple of random items or anything you've looked at before and went, wow, I'd really like to photograph this, but I don't know where to begin. This is your chance to maybe do that. I'm going to bring in some lights. We'll have and I have some experience playing around with still life, and I know that other people in the group do too, so we'll make it a big group effort. But that's what's happening May 11th. For those who don't know, Corey Kane was originally scheduled for May. He unfortunately had to have eye surgery, so he's been rescheduled to November at this point. So we'll have Corey Kane coming in November now. The next challenge, the meeting will be May 25th. That challenge is going to be on still life or tabletop photography, or whatever you want to call it. So that'll be your challenge then. So we're going to have the meeting, have the challenge on still life, and then that's also the show at Riverstones. The theme is still life. So we're kind of switching gears for the next few months. I'm really focusing in on that to help you guys with the show. So if you have any questions about those things, definitely bring them to the meeting, reach out beforehand. But between now and the challenge or the critique meeting, you can get started on that. After that, June 8th is the meeting after that. Right now, we don't know what's happening. So we'll keep you posted on that. June 30th will be the drop off at Riverstones for the summer show. Again, the theme being still life. And July 1st is the opening at Riverstones. And then we're into our summer break. That's how close we are. The only thing right now happening in our summer break is the Star Island outing. And it's tentatively scheduled for July 30th. But that's not set in stone as far as the date is concerned. But it'll be the end of July, beginning of August, a Saturday likely in there, depending on what Star Island's options look like. As far as we want to make sure we get a whole day out there. So we're trying, we're going to wait a little while and make sure that we can get that spot. So that's the rest of the first half of the year. And don't think I have anything else right now. We don't have any other outings currently planned. They're always in discussion, and we're always ready to plan something and get out. So if you have any recommendations or just something you want to do with the group, definitely get it to us. That's me, Jared, Asina, Lisa, Jacob, Scott, any one of us.
On that note, Sean, I did hear back from Bedrock Gardens about doing an outing.
Okay.
And they're only open 2 weekends a month, and the city of or the town of Lee will not let them open any other weekends. So if we do want to do one, it has to be during general hours when they're open. And I have never been there and had it be packed. So that is an option at some point if we want to talk about it.
Okay. We can talk about that depending on, I don't know what packed means. Is it like,
it's never been crowded ever. So.
Right. So that's what I mean. Like, even as long as we can sort of spread out and
Yep.
do it. Yeah, even if it's just a walk around, that could be worth doing. And I know that Monique has been in touch with the Dragway. to see if we can get back there for another outing or another workshop at the dragway. So we're working on a couple of things in the backgrounds, but right now nothing is actually scheduled. But you know, as soon as we have stuff, we'll let you know.
Yep, and as soon as we have those things, and I'll update the Facebook page with those events that we do have scheduled within the next couple of days. And anything that does come up in the meantime, I'll try to schedule those events as well. So make sure that if you have any questions or anything else, just post it so that we can get back to you, okay?
Yep, post it or reach out in private message or whatever's easiest. Email, just shoot an email to GRCC mailbox, the same where you sent your image today. I check that, you know, at least a couple times a week. I'll pop in there just to make sure there's nothing that needs my attention. So, all right. So that said, I think we're gonna need to stick to our 5-minute rule as much as possible tonight because we have 14 to go through, which is pretty good, including some of our new members who jumping right in. That's great. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. Geez, you think I'd never used Zoom before? I'm so zoomed out, I forgot how it works. All right, you guys can see that?
Yep.
Lightroom? Okay, nay? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to assume you can. Okay. So we're just going to start here. First one, this is Ben Kramer's.
John, who do you want to be a timer?
Usually Monique does it just automatically.
I got it.
Yeah, if she's on, she kind of just does it.
Yep, sorry. I got it. Thanks.
So what do we think? Anybody have any comments?
My
I see there's
first
snow on the
initial
trees,
react-
so this hasn't been taken in the last 30 days.
Oh,
When was that taken?
I mean, it's okay. In the end.
I took it after I knew what the challenge was.
So it had to
Oh,
have
the
been.
challenge. This is true. This challenge got announced a little early. That's true.
Yeah, it did.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Fair enough.
Is it like an orange sunset with fog in there? That's pretty cool.
It's a sunrise,
Sunrise, yep.
and it had snowed that night, and it was windy in the morning, so it was blowing the dusting of snow off the trees.
Oh,
and that
okay,
was
that's what
catching the morning sunlight.
Nice. The color is pretty.
It's a very calming image.
Yeah. It's a calming orange.
I love how the orange is just very subtle in the image. It's beautiful.
It does make me realize, like, I mean, I already knew this, but I really don't miss winter.
Jeez. Really?
like,
Sean?
I didn't need this image to remind me of that, but it does. It does that. It makes me go, yeah, I don't miss that at all.
Me, it almost looks
My
like
first-
the woods are on fire.
Oh,
Oh,
dude, my first thought was that I don't ever see this kind of orange because I don't get up this early in the morning.
I like how the snow caught the orange and it's sort of lit on the back side of the tree, not the side that's facing it.
Well, it is on the side that's facing us, that roof level. If you go up that tree by a third of the way, quarter of the way across, I'm seeing it. It looks like orange sea smoke.
yeah, the light's wrapping around the trees in places for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the angle of the light coming in. Looks like it's coming in from the left. I mean, from the right. Well, I don't know. I guess directionality is kind of hard to tell. It's brightest right here.
Yeah, it's coming in from the right.
Yeah.
I've cropped out the sun itself actually shining through the trees.
So I'm seeing it like it's wrapping around the trees here, but I'm not sure it's actually wrapping around and more just coming in at this angle. And it's not.
Yeah.
It's the sun that, or the blowing snow that's catching it, not so much wrapping around the trees. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you can see the actual snow.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really cool.
That's a really interesting crop too, where you get in a little bit closer. Just to see like the orange just really come through those trees. But I do love how that there is that white just in the middle of those two trees there where it isn't orange, but you get that little glimpse of orange right on the right hand side, and then all that orange in the
Oh.
background on the left hand side. I think it's beautiful.
I was wondering if you just like crop it up.
Also striking.
Ooh, that
On the
is.
tree on the right,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, all of the vertical lines with the square crop, it was, I mean, it's tension. If that's what you're going for, that's great. It was almost too much tension for what I was looking at. And I
1
wondered
minute
if-
warning.
Was that?
1 minute warning.
Oh, okay.
I like this crop, your crop better.
I don't think that you need the house in there. I think it's
Yeah.
nicer with the trees.
Mm.
Yeah, well, this is easily the most interesting part of the image,
Definitely.
in my opinion. So
And
I think,
I think it evokes peacefulness and quiet, even though you can see the blowing snow in the wind, catching up on the light, but this is the time of year that the spring birds are not singing yet. It's early in the morning. I bet it was pretty quiet and peaceful. Other
Yeah,
than
with-
the wind.
and
Other
with
than
the
the
snow
wind.
covered ground, like your feet almost don't make noise, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Very calming. It really is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bravo for you for being up that early.
Yeah, way to go outside on this morning.
Only 6:41.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's true, that's
Not
true.
bad.
It is winter, so it does sun does come up a little bit later. So
It's only 6.
That's true.
All right, fine. I'm up at that time almost every day.
All right,
You have
that's our
a
time,
child.
guys.
All right, that's our 5 minutes. Anything else for Ben, guys?
Oh, great job.
Nice
Yeah,
job.
nice work.
Thanks, Ben. Nice.
Okay, next up, we have a new member. This is Beth Dubois.
Ooh.
Up.
That's very
That's
orange.
orange.
That is very.
Wow.
That's what it looked like. Barnstead.
That is fire orange.
That is fire orange.
Yeah, you don't drive that if you're like a, getaway driver. You know what I
No.
mean?
If you,
I didn't even know that was a colorful truck right there.
Like if it's your job to get away from the cops, this is not what you show up with.
zoom in by where the bed meets the body, you can see where they painted it and worked on it.
Yeah.
I was driving around and like, there's my orange.
That's perfect, Beth.
Yeah, it's a really nice foreground. It's a really nice background. It's a really nice crop to the photo.
I think it's been there for a while though.
I mean, as far as the crop is concerned, I would personally like to see the whole truck. I think it's
agree.
awkward on either end,
I
Yeah,
agree
I
with Sean. That's what I was like.
Yeah, me too.
right? It's just when you're dealing
I
with
think it
vehicles.
was there.
Well, oh, you mean you cropped it off? You mean?
No, I don't know what I did because I just changed it to get it to you again.
Oh, okay. No, the original small file looked exactly the same as this. It was just much smaller, and it wouldn't have worked very well in Lightroom.
I'm new at this.
No, that's okay. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I would, and just as, I mean, I'm a car photographer. I spend a lot of time with this kind of thing. Anytime you're sort of cropping off, like you can see, like here's the bumper line and stuff, and over here you're cropping off like halfway through the taillight, and these are things that are awkward to the eye, and the eye wants to see the rest of it. So just with this particular subject matter, it helps to have the whole thing, or crop it in, find an interesting detail and crop it in tight. It's one or the other, whereas this is kind of a little bit awkward. But I love the idea, and I mean, you certainly nailed orange. That's,
Yeah.
that's
I like how the background,
I
blurred the background.
Who was that?
said I liked how she blurred the background. So
Oh,
that
Sharon.
focus.
Yeah, Sharon, I don't know if maybe your mic needs to be adjusted and closer to your mouth or something. It's hard to understand you.
Sean, she was saying about the background being blurred.
Lauren,
Good choice of depth.
It
of
is,
field.
yeah. That it's definitely the shallow depth of field is definitely helpful.
It would really distract it if it wasn't.
I don't know how
Yeah.
you can be distracted.
Was-
It's so orange.
Was this an abandoned truck in the woods?
Actually, it's in Barnstead, and we went out behind the country store. There's there's like a wood mill out there and all kinds of other shops. And it's,
Oh, I know where you are, the White Buffalo store.
There's an industrial park out behind the country store in Barnstead.
Yeah, that's the White Buffalo store. Yeah, I know where you are. Okay.
we went out there and there's always something out there. But I'd never noticed this before. We've been out there a few times this year, just looking for birds.
So,
saw it
so
and
this is me being really nitpicky, and I know you have absolutely no control over the fact that there's garbage in the bed. But maybe if the angle was changed, if you had moved a little bit over to the right and just changed the angle a little bit, maybe got a little bit lower, maybe like something else. The more and more I look at, like, there's so much that I love about it, and I keep going back to like trash bags in the back of the truck.
Yep.
So again, you have absolutely no control over this, but like that's the only distraction that I have. But it's like everything else is very stunning to me. I like that contrast of the background, the foreground, and that bright orange that breaks up that line. And that's the only thing that's distracting me the more and more I look at it.
But it's a pickup truck. It's supposed to have stuff in the back.
Yeah.
I knew
It would be
it
worse
was
if it was a
Lightroom.
car.
And I'm
Worse
not,
if it was a car, and I've seen some cars like that.
That's why I have a tonneau cover over mine.
there wasn't much choice there. I mean, I didn't
No,
get out.
I realize
took it
that.
from the
Yep.
car because I'm actually on property that's not mine. So, oh well.
Mm.
Okay,
Oh, but
well,
it's
30
great.
seconds. Did you hear me?
What?
Yes.
30
30
seconds.
seconds. Okay. Yeah, I mean, compositionally too, I would, when you're dealing with vehicles or any large subject matter like this, try to avoid, and it's not always possible, it may not have been possible this time, but try to avoid things like this that look like it's just growing out of the roof. Because it just becomes a distracting element. And I mean, that can be just simply a matter of changing angle or getting lower or higher, taking a step to the left or right, and just trying to put this in a place where it's not just like growing straight out of the center of it. But again, it's maybe not possible in this instance, and that's okay. You did the best you could. Just something to keep in mind for another time. But I think it's a
Great orange. I love it. That's
Yeah.
the subject on that one.
Definitely orange.
It's an awesome.
yeah, this probably the most orange thing we have in this entire.
yeah, it's orange.
All right. So I imagine we're pretty much right at 5 minutes. So anybody have any further comment for Beth?
No.
All right, nice work, Beth, and great job just submitting. It's not easy to put your work out and take critique, and yeah, good job.
Yep. Great job.
Yep, good job.
All right, so next up, Carol Martin, who couldn't be on the call today, so she did submit, so we'll make sure that we comment on it so she can see the recording. And here's Carol's.
Nice.
Oh, the orange.
Wow.
rocks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very Carol.
It is, yeah, it's very
Very
nice.
Carol.
I think in the email she sent that she said that she was driving down wherever she was driving and she saw these rocks off the side of the road and stopped and just grabbed this.
It's such a
No,
subtle orange, but it's so beautiful. It looks like a painting.
Yeah, there's like just the right amount of blur in the water.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
say
there's-
the shutter
there's-
is really nice.
There's enough
very good
detail,
finish.
but also it certainly conveys motion. And you
So
can see
Sean,
through it.
what's the settings you use for this?
F22 at a quarter second.
Okay, so if I love like the little composition. I like the water. I think the shutter speed is very nice. It creates a little bit of texture in there. I would just say that our focus points off slightly.
Yeah, you want this to be sharp right here.
That's what I want to be sharp.
Yeah.
too.
And it's a little bit, yeah, I imagine she handheld at a quarter second is what it looks like. Because that looks like motion blur to me.
Yeah,
The
that's
upper
exactly
right-hand side,
what it was.
there's a
So
rock on the upper right that's sharper though. Yep, right there.
Yeah, only
Sharper,
slightly.
sharper.
Mm.
at F22, that should all be. It should be a softer left, but it should still all be in focus from this distance, especially if you
Yeah.
focus those rocks. So it probably was handheld.
Yeah.
So if you were to shoot this again, my recommendation would be set that on a tripod. And then
Tripod,
if you
yeah.
don't have a shutter release button, then just do like a 2-second delay between the image or the shot, so that way you don't get the blur from the shake of the camera.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at it, this is your center of interest right here. At least in this composition, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I would,
Because you can crop that in just that section, and I think that would be a photograph in itself also.
oh yeah, you could crop it in, especially from the left. There's lots of room there. You could crop it in.
I agree, because that little white is starting like kind of with that rush of water on the left-hand side kind of pulls you a little bit to that direction, and I want to stay focused on those rocks over there in the center, right?
Yeah, you really want this to be sharp ray here.
I think this also
Composition
one
overall
little
is
spot
really
over there.
nice. Scott, what do you think? You're the expert here.
Yeah. I like it. I like to take wide shots like that because then you can crop them a bunch of different ways afterwards, but it is a little soft.
I love that you can see through, like where there isn't white, you can see through all the water. It's
I'd like
lots
to know
of-
she used a polarizer for this, because it almost looks like she didn't use the full
I think she-
polarizer, but it looks like it definitely helped out.
yeah, I was gonna say she must have had to have, right? I mean,
But
maybe
well,
not- maybe
it
not.
depends on the sun's angle, but I think she had it looks like she must have had a polarizer on there.
Yeah, because if you have an image slower shutter speed, it's going to start getting milky, and you're not going to see those rocks that are underneath.
Yeah, I mean, this is nice
Yeah.
here. What's
Yeah.
happening here?
Yeah.
My only other thing would be just to make sure that you get rid of those little dust particles that are in the water. I mean, because it must be on your sensor, the black dots. Always look for that stuff like that.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if you just tighten it up a little bit, you know?
That makes a big difference.
I think if you go a little bit further upper right, have that rock as an anchor, a little bit,
Yeah,
a little bit
I-
more showing to it.
I'd leave that in too. Yeah.
That makes a difference, but it seems to make it
Yeah.
brighter also.
It does make it brighter, yes.
Yeah, there you go. Try that. I know,
That
just
looks
put,
awesome.
yeah, that's it. I like that
That's a
clip
great
better.
anchor.
Yeah,
Very good
Now
anchor
just-
up in that
Just
corner.
add just a little bit of contrast and darken it just a little bit.
right. Try a few tricks to take a little bit of that softness out and see what happens. Yeah.
1 more minute.
I mean, you could, if you have topaz, you could drag that into topaz. I mean, it wouldn't fix it, but it would fool the eye.
Oh, if you're gonna go into topaz, I'd put this in impressions and just make it painterly. Oh, it would be so cool. Yeah, because then you don't have to deal with the softness. But that's
Well,
just me. Sorry.
It's a beautiful composition, and Scott's right. Always shoot a
Yeah.
little bit wider so you can do this kind of a crop, right? Because
Right.
maybe you like something or what you thought was cool, it doesn't look that great once
Yep.
you get it there. Oh,
Yeah.
this is gorgeous. Well done, Carol.
Yeah, nice work, Carol. Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that you're carrying a camera in your car, but if you're gonna do this kind of thing, you gotta carry a tripod too.
Very true.
Or bump your ISO so that you can boost your shutter just a little bit.
Yeah.
You get one more stop, you know? Because
You
the
should-
whites are a little bit blown out, so you probably could have, what was it, a quarter second?
Quarter, yeah, but you can drag those back quite easily. Oh no, you're running into issues here.
Right there. Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
see it there.
right
But if you're cropping that out and you can change the cropping because it is so nice and wide, maybe you can get rid of that little chunk. Yeah. Except there is one in the dead center too, when you bring it. Yeah.
But an eighth of a second or
Yeah,
something.
but that's manageable there.
Yeah, yep. Yep.
This is hard,
That one's hard.
but you can crop that out because that's manageable. You
Yep.
could live with that.
Yeah, you could just spot remove that.
Correct.
The one.
Yeah, yeah. Content, yeah, not content.
It's so small, you might be able to just burn it down.
Yep.
So, well,
That's our time on that one.
all right. Well, way to go, Carol.
Well
Hopefully-
done, Carol.
Hopefully you see this and it's helpful. Next up, Deb Boulanger, who has a cat.
Oh, I love it.
That is,
I love everything
that
about
is
this.
I love
sharp,
him.
I am a fan.
sharp, right where it needs,
Sharp.
It's
Oh
just
my.
sharp where it needs to be sharp.
right where it needs to be sharp.
Yep. Nice
Oh
my
highlights and
goodness.
eye. Well done.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gorgeous. That's a great catchlight in the eye.
Well
too.
done. Yep.
So he's been posing for me because I've been practicing and trying to do portraits for my new granddaughter. So I thought, you know what? We're doing orange. He's orange. So I bought him an orange bow tie. So I call this one Orange on Orange.
There you go.
It
Great
works.
choice of depth of
Definitely
field
works.
too.
What lens is that, Deb?
That is my 24 to 70. I
Ah,
had some others that I'd use my Lens Baby that'll keep him in focus in the front and blur the back, but I thought I'd used it on this one, but I didn't. I used my 24 to 70 on that.
it
And
works.
I actually
on the-
went in
That's on
and
the 6, right?
yes, yes. Yes, so he's been my model. He's a great model. I bought him some more bow ties for the holidays.
I'm sure he loves those.
Oh my God, we did Easter shots and we have 4th of July shots coming up. I bought him a 4th of July tie. Oh yeah, no, he's my
Good.
model.
He doesn't
And
look,
he just lays there and lets you do it.
he
Oh,
does
he's a good
not
boy.
look miffed in any way.
No.
Oh, he's just like, okay, mom, whatever.
Next.
No, I've been practicing portrait with him.
So is this the one that shows us his butt?
Yes.
So, I'm typically not a fan of the white vignette, but I think that does a very nice job of this photo. Actually, I kind of like even having a little bit of the white vignette you've added to it.
So I played with that one this morning before I finally submitted it. And I thought, you know what? Because it's like a sage green blanket that I put over my chair. And I just thought that it was too much because I wanted to, like you guys said, draw your eye into the attention of his face and the front part of him. And so I actually played with the vignette this morning and I thought, I think it might work with this.
Well, it's subtle
Great,
too. It's
guys.
not an overblown white, which
Mhm.
sometimes happens too. So, but it depends on your choice, on your, what you're looking for in your image. I just,
That's exactly
I
what-
just did a white vignette on a horse in a snowstorm and blew the daylights out of it with it. And it was like, oh, that's going on the wall.
Nice.
So you never know. Yeah.
But I feel like the white vignette on this is like a perfect, if you were doing a portrait, like that's kind of what you would expect out of it. And somebody told me once that you should try to stay away from doing photos of your pets or your children because you take them too much to heart, and you might look at it kind of differently when you're trying to take your portrait. And you have completely destroyed that theory for me, because this is just the perfect, like, orange on orange on orange, and this is fantastic. And it's like I think it's just the way that he's looking, where he's not looking at the camera. He's got the orange eyes, the orange fur, the orange bow tie. Like, you went over and above, and this is fantastic.
Thank you.
Love that it's not
Love it.
too.
Yeah, I mean, I would say too that like that statement about never photograph your kids or your animals. I firmly disagree with that. Those are your easiest subjects to get a hold of. And you only get better if you push the shutter. So yeah, photograph the hell out of your pets and your kids. I need to start doing it a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
take on that anyways. Like you should
All
always
right,
do it.
maybe not for your camera club meetings, but yes, absolutely for your home photo albums.
Well,
I can tell you that I've taken the best photos of my own child. I can firmly say that. So
1 minute warning.
Well, I've got the babies coming up again this weekend with just my daughter. So I thought, you know what, just practice, practice, practice.
There you
And
go. That's right. Every time you lift your camera. Yep.
and then that kid will get
I'm
there
gonna
and
help you.
it simply won't look at the camera.
They don't look at it ever.
They don't look at it.
They don't. So, hey, if I can
Ex-
photograph a cat and photograph flowers, I should be able to photograph people, right?
Yep. So if
Well,
they
look-
don't look at it, do a profile.
Real little kids don't move much like cats and flowers. They move a lot more as they get bigger.
And then they start talking and telling you that they're bored.
Yeah, and then they need timeouts. That's a new thing too.
Excellent job, Dad. This is
Yeah, nice
gorgeous.
work,
I like
Dad.
it. I like it a
really,
lot.
Really nice
Good job.
work.
I do.
You.
I know. Look at that eye. Look at that eye.
Oh, it's
All the eye.
perfect.
Yeah, way to go. I mean, look all each
And
individual-
honestly, you popped on an orange bow tie, which you would think would draw people. No. You go straight to the eye first and then go around to the tie.
Yep.
I find it spectacular in the eye. Boom.
He's my
Got
boy.
time on this one.
That's time.
Yes.
All right.
Bye, kitty. And good job having the tail in the shot. Yes.
Deb, out of curiosity, were you hand holding this?
No, he was on
Okay.
a tripod, and that's all natural lighting too in my sunroom.
Well, I just noticed the 1/15th of a second, and I was about to give you even more
Yeah.
kudos for still having a sharp eye if you're hand holding.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no, I had a chair sitting down and my tripod on, so I was sitting in the chair and down to his level.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. All right. Anything else for Deb, guys?
Nope,
Well
beautiful
done.
picture.
Well done.
Very
Nice job,
nice.
Deb. All right, now we're going to go to the other Deb, Deb Manning, who went very literal on us.
Well, what can I say?
Yeah, that's funny. Those are great.
So right off the bat, I'm open to suggestions here, but I would want to see this little orange be
And
separated slightly, and that is your focal point.
I agree.
Like
Yeah.
up closer, those other two oranges back a ways to become the background.
Yep.
And if you're trying to do more of like a tabletop situation, having just more of a set and back, like get your camera back a little bit. But yeah, I think this here, because I see it's sharp over here and not really over here. So your focal, like the camera focused here for some reason.
Yeah,
You do a big
I
crop on
was
this
having a
one?
hard time. It kept changing on me and then I went to manual, but I don't think I did the manual focus on this one.
well, the good news is actually you can reshoot this too, which is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's still on
and
my
then Play
bed.
with all that. Yeah, and then I would just play with it
So-
and try to work with that focus ring.
And the other thing I would say is switch out. I mean, it looks like it's sitting on a towel. Find
It
something
is.
that's not, yeah. Find something that's not white. Find a color that complements the orange.
Okay.
Or
Maybe
even-
Or
maybe
something
find
dark.
something more like more interesting texture. We know what a towel is, but maybe put something on it that we don't know what it is.
Yeah, I just did
I'm
this
gonna-
this afternoon. I was looking at the window and I said, oh boy, I'm gonna try it with the light. I had bought these 2 oranges and that's a tangerine. Just for the thing, and I just shot it this afternoon.
Yeah.
'Cause the light was right naturally. And then I was looking for something kind of white and different and I said, okay, I'll use the towel. So
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah, you know, kudos to you, because when I saw it coming up, I was like, ooh, a study in oranges. A really, really good thought. And this is where you're gonna, you know, learn, like, if you only have a towel, and you don't want it to all look so much towel, you can actually pull your subject more towards you in the front, away from the towel in the backdrop, and you'll lose a lot of the the texture in the backdrop as well. You'll get it around the bottom of your oranges for sure. But if you take your subject and pull it out from the backdrop, it will definitely, you'll have fall off. And I think that's what everybody was talking about was, you know, when you have this orange in the front, we tend to, our eyes even tend to actually look at the object that is closer to the lens, and then fall off blur occurs sort of towards the back, where in this one, it's kind of reversed. So that was my thought on that one as well, is I kind of agreed with that. And that if you were focusing more specifically on that, the one in the front, the natural fall off, as it will start to soften naturally in your eyes anyway, as it goes further towards the back.
Yeah,
But
it'll
yeah, if
feel
you-
it'll feel more natural to the way
Yeah,
your
yeah,
eyes
yeah,
actually
sure.
work.
And if you pull that off the back, it was pretty close to the towel that was up behind it. If you pull that off a little bit too, that might make a difference as well.
And if you're trying to use that backing as that's holding it up, like place another small object behind those that you won't even see. That'll hold them in the position that you want, so you can move that back a little bit, like Pat was saying. Because no one needs to know there was something back there holding it up.
Okay.
Or
I just
even
wanna
doing
say-
something a little bit weird, like even just taking maybe, you know, that the tangerine and the orange and just stacking them on top of each other would be just a little bit more unnatural than just having them lay on the towel. You know, just those two and just having it maybe like a vertical image instead of horizontal with three. Three seems to be a very, you know, settling shot. But I think you could do something else with this, that you have so much potential, like there you almost have it, you've got something there, and you just need to work it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll work it a little bit. I'll work it tomorrow.
Yeah, and
Like
when
I
I
said,
say, yeah, and when I say a study in oranges, it means like literally as many photos as you want to take and as many different setups, and you'll start seeing different highlights being caught by moving them around. And yeah, just have fun with it, keep playing with it.
Yeah, I just like, when I did it, I liked the way the light was falling out, you know, coming in from the window. So
I like the window lighting.
Yeah.
I like your direction of light too.
Yeah.
Directional lighting is very nice. Yes, I agree.
you know, and like I said, it was in my bedroom and I said, oh, I need an orange, an orange theme today. So it was just throwing it on the bed and looking for something. I have to look for a different color, maybe because I didn't have a white sheet. So maybe a gray sheet would, maybe I'm going to find a gray sheet.
The other thing you can look for is the opposite of on the color wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, try blue.
Yeah.
Try blue.
Try
That would
blue.
be interesting.
Try blue.
I got blue sheets, I think.
Yeah,
You're out of time on this one, guys.
You know what? Try with the blue sheet, right? And set it up exactly like you set it up here. And then look at the two and see what really trips your own personal trigger about this. Yeah.
Okay.
It may be pretty cool.
Hey, Sean, what happened to the screen?
He's showing you a color scheme. We're like super overtime. on
Oh,
that.
he's looking at
color wheel,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
so
it's
Color wheel. There we go.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would share what I was looking at. I was just gonna get a link for.
Blues and
No.
greens.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just trying to get a link to put in the chat for you guys.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they would do that because I thought I was only sharing. Sorry about that.
Cue the
That's all right.
color wheel. That was great. Cue the color
So-
wheel. Thank you. Yeah.
So I just put in the chat, that's the Adobe color wheel where you can actually, like if you chose that, you know, an orange close to what these are, it would show you what is considered a complementary color, what is the opposite. Like like you could make like a color palette out of, you know, just using all different shades of oranges or different complementary colors and stuff. It gives you all of that there. So you can use that to kind of help with your creativity with something like this.
And this is also handheld. It wasn't, I didn't go out to the car and get my tripod. So either. So that's,
So,
I think you're onto something.
yeah. Oh, no, it's always
but what
good.
are we doing? Tabletop?
Yeah,
Right?
you're on the
Maybe
right
they'll
path.
reappear.
Now you know.
Get out and
Yeah.
play. Yeah. Lovely. Play.
All right. Monique, did I hear you say that was 5?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I think you have some, I
Sorry,
think you
Monique.
definitely have something here.
Monique.
And like Pat said, make a study out of it, you know, set it
Yeah.
up, shoot it, take it all apart, reset it up, shoot it, take it all apart, and do it in different lights and see what, you know, start looking at them and see what it's doing.
I have one thing I'd like to add.
Okay.
I'm in support of the towel because it gives me the feel of these are oranges that were placed somewhere where someone didn't have, a fruit basket or
Yep.
anything specific for placing fruit in, or someone like had just bought some oranges or was carrying oranges in a towel because that's what they had. So I'm kind of in support of the towel. It feels less staged.
Sure. Yeah, I mean the texture itself is not bad. My opinion was that the white is distracting, but with the oranges themselves are so bright too that it kind of, maybe it's not, But yeah, I agree with you that the feel of it and what you're saying is definitely true.
Yay for texture.
The texture is
I
always
love
good.
texture.
Texture is always good.
Texture.
Thank you. I'll
Alright.
rework this. Now I can look at it a little bit differently.
Sure. Yeah. Well, great job, Deb.
Thanks.
We're gonna move on to our next one, and it looks like we have Asina.
See, that looks like an Asina one.
Yeah. I knew it was before before Sean even said that.
It's a
Asina, what's
TY
this?
baby, right?
What's the fish's name?
Goldie.
Oh, okay, that's not.
It says so on the tag.
Orangey.
Oh, it says so on the tag.
Is he a beanie baby? Is it a beanie baby?
It is, yeah, of course, yeah.
The thing I like
We're
about
going
this,
retro
baby.
90s here.
the thing I like about this the most is if you look at everyone's faces over on the sidebar, everyone's
Yeah.
faces are orange reflected off it.
I know, right? I'm like, oh, that's right. It does.
That's funny.
Because it is
Yeah,
orange.
That's so funny, Scott. Thank you for that. I was like, what do I think? Everyone's orange.
You're ridiculously
Oh,
observant.
go back full screen for a second so we can check everybody else on.
Oh, you especially,
love
Scott.
Yeah, Scott's all orange.
Touche.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, I know. Touche. Yeah.
You know,
made us
Asina,
all
you have-
orange.
That's so funny.
Asina, you have that style. It's
That's
very
amazing.
different, and that one just screamed your name all over.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
That's a huge compliment, by the way, when people can see pieces that come up and they know that they're yours. Because
Absolutely.
I absolutely do. I will take that for everything because that just shows that I'm doing something at least consistently that I've shown my style. So
Yes, that was a true compliment.
Yeah, style is
Thank you,
that's the hardest
thank you.
part sometimes.
Did you change the color in Lightroom or something, or did you put an orange light on it?
So you want the story?
Yep.
Yeah.
Always want the story.
Okay.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right. So I was really stressed out about this one because I haven't done a color challenge for this group. So what do I do that's orange? What do I have that's orange? And what's really funny is I did a huge order for a friend of mine of t-shirts that under no circumstance was there any other color that he wanted to use other than this neon orange vinyl. So I had this sheet of neon orange vinyl that I've just been like staring at for the past month, and I'm done with orange, by the way. So I honestly, okay, I realized that this Beanie Baby was bought in like 1997, but I just bought it out of a bin about a month ago for $3. And I'm like, okay, he's got to put an appearance. This is my orange. This is what I'm going to do. And I have a brand new light that I bought that it has all different, like a whole different bunch of colors that you can adjust, and I don't know what it does, and I'm just playing with it a little bit. And thanks to Kramer for his little his light tutorial. So I decided to use that. So I changed the light to orange, and then I had a lighting reflector and I changed it to the gold reflector because I wanted this to be as orange as possible, because if I was going to do orange, I was not going to let you down with the orange. That's my story.
Well, way to embrace the challenge.
Thank you.
I mean that. It's that's some commitment to orange.
Wow.
I think, Sean, you were trying to hover over the eye a little bit ago, but just to see, just to make sure. Were you handheld on this one?
I was handheld, yeah.
It's just a little, could be a little bit
Maybe a
sharper.
little softer down the
It could be a
eye.
little bit, yeah, yep.
Looks
Aren't
like you
you
did
glad you
lower
did
the
it?
resolution to send this.
Yeah, it could be a resolution
What-
issue. It could be what you did in post-processing that's causing kind of like a haziness to it. Because I'm looking at what's happening around the edges too. You know,
Yeah,
there's
I'm looking at like I'm getting the shadow underneath the fish. It looks like it's pixelated, so it might be
There's
just a
some
lower
haloing going
resolution.
on.
Yeah, it looks like
It's been pushed pretty
pixelation.
hard, I think. I could be wrong, but it looks like it's been pushed in processing pretty hard.
Well, what's really funny about that is I pushed nothing in processing other than a slightish black vignette around the edge. That's the only thing that I did on this.
This to me looks like the kind of effect that you get with like heavily colored concert lights. Digital sensors tend to not do well with very bright, very specific colored lights. And I think not having other colors for it to deal with on the sensor are probably what's affecting the detail here.
You have about 30 more seconds.
Just because that's.
Well, Christina, I think you really did embrace the challenge here. I mean, this is very orange, and the fact that
Would you
I
say
see
that it's
Scott,
orange?
It is
the
orange.
fact that Scott is so orange in this picture, I cannot stop laughing. Every time it gets closer, I get brighter.
See, you have various shades of orange in there.
That's kind of what I was hoping for. I really like the fact that kind of up front you had more texture. You had the darker orange, but then going towards the light or to the back that it got lighter. You could still see the whole, like, you could understand what the image was. You could tell that it was this stupid little plush beanie thing, and so maybe not my best photo ever, but orange.
But orange, yeah.
You're welcome.
I mean, best
Thanks,
is
Christina.
best is very subjective. It's certainly creative. So
Well done, Asina.
yeah, nice work, Asina.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
All right, next up, Lisa.
Ooh.
These are
Oh,
my,
wow, Lisa.
this is my trip last week to Utah to see the wild horses in the outside of Dugway, Utah. And this day that we were out there were probably 40-mile-an-hour winds. They haven't had rain out there. The dust was blowing, as you can see. It's very hazy and dirty. And but yeah, I debated an orange horse or something else. So I went through all my pictures and found an orange horse. So these are two, and I'm sure they ended up fighting afterwards, because this is what they did, is they kind of felt each other out and ended up getting in fights afterwards. But it was an absolutely amazing experience. It was 4 days of just amazing scenery and horses and behavior and learning about them. And it was a very awesome trip. Can't wait to go back.
If you hadn't said they were going to fight, I was going to say, like, the orange horse looks like it's in love with the other horse. Like,
Yeah,
it's very,
so that was
like, endearing.
Yeah, no, this is usually how they started their brawls.
Yeah.
They kind of
I've
sniffed
seen
each
some of your
other
brawl
out. And
pictures.
They're like,
They look happy and content.
it was either that or they tended to take turns going to the bathroom in a pile. And some of the piles would end up like a foot tall. They would go, the next one would sniff it and go, the next one would sniff it and go, and whoever ended up being the last person in the pile, that would be the dominant one, and they would end up being a fight over something.
I'm so glad that wasn't orange.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I could have picked that as orange, but yeah, if you've never seen these horses, they're descendants of the Pony Express. And this herd was about 120 weeded down from about 400 last year. They thinned the herd down just a tad, but they are absolutely amazing creatures.
You definitely feel the wind. You can see the wind.
I just can't tell you how excited I was. Hurrah for wild ponies. You got a Tobiano and a Roan tone, you know, gently muzzling each other at the beginning of what probably ended into a rearing up of both. It was,
oh God, yeah.
If I could have been with you, I've seen some of your posts on social media the past couple of days, and I'm like, oh my God, if I could only be there with you. Oh,
you know, Pat, it was one of those things I signed up for it. I signed up for it in November and I hummed and hawed and debated the whole thing.
Yep.
And I am so glad I made the decision to go. The two guys that ran the trip are from Park City and from California.
Yeah.
They're very familiar with these horses. They're very familiar with the surroundings and the area. It was an unbelievable experience.
Exciting.
I would go back in a heartbeat any
What
day.
a rare opportunity. Yeah, definitely on the top 5 of my bucket list is to get some wild ponies or horses.
Lisa, was it specifically a photography tour?
It was organized through Hunt's Photo.
Oh yeah, that was one of theirs.
Nobody from Hunt's went on the trip. The two guys that went on it, as I said, were from Park City and from California, and in conjunction with Hunt's. We had people from California, New Mexico, Texas, New York, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire.
Oh, yeehaw.
So there was 14 of us total that went, and we rented a 15-passenger van, and oh my God, we just had the best time.
That's awesome.
I was out there from Monday through Sunday. Had a very hard time coming home. We had wind, we had rain, we had sun, we had clouds, we had snow. We had basically everything under the sun to shoot in.
Well, the top of the orange in the Roan is just from all of the other muted colors, other than the Tobiano, which is black and white, purely black and white. He's outstanding. He's outstanding because of his color.
Yeah.
And way to embrace the orange in this image.
Thank you.
You bet.
As I said, I went through hundreds of orange pictures. That's basically all I've looked at of my pictures is tried to find orange horses to pick which one I wanted to submit for tonight's challenge.
Hey,
Well
Sean.
done.
Yeah. I would say, can we crop a little of the sky and a little bit of that foreground out a little bit? See if we can make this a little bit more restricted. I don't know if more sky.
A little bit more of a pano, take a little
Maybe
off
a
it.
porn.
Yeah,
Get rid of
there
that
you go.
right there.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
Takes the focus right in.
Oh, right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
This needs to go.
Yes, that car needs to go.
Car needs to go. Why?
Because it's a car.
It's a car. I can see the headlights.
You can see the
Just
headlights.
the headlights, that's all.
Oh.
Yeah,
I would
it's
just
probably just.
I don't think it's headlights. It's probably just dirt on my. Is that a car? Really?
It looks like a car, yeah, because you can see the wing mirrors.
It's a highlight. It's a highlight that can easily be just replicated out.
That can
Boom.
easily be taken out.
Yeah,
I mean, it was hard. I mean, I could
There
have
you go. Done and done.
Yep,
Yeah.
done and done.
Oh, yeah.
All done. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I mean, I could
think
have
this is
easily.
pano. Just the intimacy between these two horses. I think when you make it a pano, it gets rid of that upper sky did nothing for you. The foreground was out of focus.
That's what he nailed was the intimacy between these two, and they're both stallions. So,
As I said, I can almost guarantee you that turned into a little spat after.
oh yep.
John, just like a car, don't cut that tail off.
Well,
Sean, you cut the tail off. That's why I didn't do that.
If you look,
Come on, Sean.
You
if
don't
you
cut
look at the
tail
black
off.
and white, his ears are flat.
Yep.
So that was going to end quickly. The other one to the left was still ears up, but that was that peaceful moment was soon gone. I'm sure.
You know, it was funny.
This guy's much bigger, so.
Yeah, he is bigger. He is
so
bigger.
funny after spending a week with them, you learn the pecking order and you learn which ones were the dominant males. And yeah, there's a lot of testosterone flying around that field. Out there. a lot of
We
testing.
are definitely out of time on this one. Good
Yep,
job,
so-
Lisa.
Okay, thank you.
Nice work,
Awesome.
Lisa.
Beautiful
Thanks.
picture.
Well
Lisa.
done, Lisa.
I will be sharing way more of them, so once I get through my 4,000 pictures that I took.
Can't wait.
All right, next up, Maddie V. I know this is
Ooh,
an
Maddie
old one.
V.
This is an old one. I know that. I've seen that one before.
Oh, so that means it's not supposed to be in the challenge?
Kinda, but you know, we can.
So do our new people know about the challenge part?
You would expect Matt to by now.
Right, but we have 2 new people, right?
We announced the challenge on this one 2-3 months ago, though, I think.
We
Okay.
did, yeah, but I mean, he emailed and said this was an old one.
All right, so typically the photo has to be taken in the 30 days leading up to the challenge. for those
Yeah,
people who
between
are
the
newer.
time that the challenge is announced to the time that the challenge is critiqued.
Either way, I think it's an awesome picture. It looks,
Here. Sometimes life happens and you just.
I know this
get to
tree,
that same
and
shot.
this tree has been something I wanted to photograph for a very long time. So cool. I love those lights coming through. I think that's a street light, right?
I have no idea. Matt's not on the call tonight.
Yeah, it's got to be a light. I almost thought it was like a zoom lens
Mm.
pushed or pulled while you're taking it, but the tree's the same. So
Yeah, I think it's just the fog. I think it's just the light coming through the fog.
Yeah, and it's a street light behind that tree, kind of creating that lens flare off the leaves. That's pretty cool. I like that.
I think if you had taken off that real bright spot at the top of the sky, crop that out,
That's my
Crop that
yeah,
out.
I agree.
Yep,
Oh,
Right
yeah,
there.
right there.
yep.
just
It
because your
pull-
eye gets drawn up to that top.
Yep.
just pulls your eye right up. So there you go.
Better.
Yeah, much softer. And it took that out of the center of the photo.
True.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
Well
Like
done,
dreamy.
Maddie.
As always, Maddie, nice work. I like
I
it.
know.
would that tree stand out a little more if you did something with the blacks or the contrast?
Mm-hmm. A little more pop.
Yeah, I mean, that's dropping the blacks. I mean, the blacks are like way up here. So there's a lot of room to play with there.
Right.
You can drop the shadows down slightly too.
It would be cool if just the tree was a little bit darker, not necessarily the background, but just the tree.
You'd probably have to select that, which might be tough with the fog.
Yeah.
But it would be
Radio
so
filter again,
cool.
I think I was thinking of.
What if you bring the dehaze up just a little?
Well, in creating the selection, he's doing, you might be able to do just that. Darker, darker. Yep.
Yeah, it's starting to lose something though. It doesn't look as
Yeah, it was a certain.
fairy tale like.
Not as a thorough.
Yeah, that's the word I was going to use too. It's
Yeah.
not quite as ethereal as it was.
Are you? There.
Yeah, I wonder it's like you darken the blacks, but then sort of also lessen some of the contrast and balances it out again.
Yeah, 1 more minute.
Huh.
Yeah, I
I
just
like
take
it
that
buried
back
in the
in and
mist.
just put it in the tree so you can darken it down a little bit.
I
See if
kind of
can
like
make
it
a
buried
difference.
in the mist. I kind of like it,
Yeah, I kind of.
like it, the original buried in the mist.
Yeah, seeing it now, I like it better.
Yep, yep. But
crop
that's the
down.
point, seeing it
There you
now.
go.
If you don't play with it, you never know, right? Right. Mm-hmm. I think he's sleeping right now.
No,
He's not here.
no, I'm not. I'm here. I'm here. Hi. Hi.
Oh, I just got so busted.
God.
I just got busted.
Listen, I'm so sorry.
He called you out, Pat.
Hi, Maddie.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. I was having dinner. I totally, completely spaced it. I sat at my computer and was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be in a meeting. You're in the middle of my image. Hi.
I thought I was supposed to be on a plane, so yeah.
Hi,
Well,
Maddie.
we all agreed that this needs a lot of work.
No.
Oh yeah.
Terrible, terrible.
It's not orange. It's a weird thing. Questions.
He chooses a tree for orange. Come on.
Yeah, I did. It's the orange color coming through it, I guess.
I love it. We do. We love it.
It's subtle.
We pick on you because we like it.
So yeah, I had a really good idea for what I wanted to do for this submission, but I didn't get to it. So last minute I was like, that's a decent image. I think I like it. I asked the wife, she's like, it's cool, see what they do. I'm like, they're gonna tear it apart. I'm like, okay, I'll submit it.
No, we didn't tear it apart. We did not tear it apart.
So
Just remove that top part of the sky.
yeah, so that's literally, I mean, we messed around with some contrast to see what it would look like, but I
And
don't
we
think
didn't like it. Yeah, and we didn't like it as much.
didn't like it. We liked it the way you had it. The only
Yep.
thing we did was crop out that big light trap up
Right.
top.
Yeah.
There's no other way to call it. It's a light trap. So bring it down.
Yeah, which after this weekend, you absolutely know why we did that.
Right.
It just
I
drew
actually
our eye up and away. Yeah.
I have a couple of different crops for that, and that's just the full version of it. The only reason I submitted that version of it is, I don't know if you got the raw version as well, Sean, but I did that to just show how much of that radio tower that I removed in the background of it.
Ooh, good job. I didn't see any radio tower anymore.
No, I don't have the. I didn't import a raw file.
Nope, never saw it.
So like just to the right side of that center like burst, probably the entire, almost, I think there's like maybe an inch of the top of the frame that the tower isn't in there, and there's cables running off of it too. So I basically wanted to submit it to see if you could, see where that was actually taken out.
Yeah, I didn't notice any.
Can't see it.
I didn't notice any clone markings. You mean like over
Well
here?
done.
So I can't really point because I'm not looking at it, but yeah, it's like
this general area.
The right side of the frame, probably where the third line would fall on the right side.
Here.
Yep.
And and then straight up from there.
Yep. Up
Sean tells me not to
in
get
there.
paper. You did a really nice job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any.
Looks good.
Yeah, scroll straight up from there.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Sweet.
Good job.
Awesome.
Did you use content aware or did you replicate?
I actually tried doing that. I tried doing it the easy way with just, grabbing the whole thing and trying to heal it out. It didn't look good. It was very obvious. So I actually went in there and just used the mix brush tool and did like a mix of cloning, mix brush, using the clone stamp tool too.
Yep. Yeah. Well done.
So that light is actually like a floodlight on the corner of the building behind the tree.
Way to take advantage of what is given to you. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That tree, it's like less than a half a mile from my house, and I drive by it all the time. It's on the back roads, and I've wanted to photograph that thing for years, and I was like, I just need a good misty opportunity to do it. I went out one night to do a night shoot, got smoked out by a bunch of clouds, stayed out all the way until sunrise, and then that's what I got to see.
There you go.
You know where this tree is. This tree is really cool.
You do?
I will disclose the information, but yes, it's a very cool tree.
Yes, it is.
All right, Matt, unfortunately, we got to move on. Sorry.
Thank you. I'm sorry I came in late. Have a good day.
Hi, Matt. Bye, Matt.
I'm still here.
All right. All right. So next up, another new member, Mike Dubois.
Sounds a clear message, huh? It feels like it's hunting season.
This does have a hunterly effect. It is hunter's orange. It's bright.
Actually, it's not in an area where one would be hunting.
Snowmobile trail.
It's a roadway off, and it's a dead end road, but it stands right out and tells you.
Yeah, dead end, do not enter.
Yeah,
period.
wherever it is very clear. Do not go there. Yep.
It's very orange.
I said,
too.
oh, there's my orange.
Perfect.
If the tree, the front of the tree's definitely in focus, your background, blurred out nicely, the
Yep.
sign pretty crisp.
Agreed.
You definitely
As
get
far
that
as the
texture feel
composition
for sure.
goes, just the slight little orange pieces within the bark of the tree, and
Mhm.
right on those little branches in front, they just the slightest little orange. I think that it all kind of like intertwines, and what could be a very uninteresting photo makes it a more interesting photo when you keep following all of this little bits of orange all around
Little
into this
buds.
dead center.
I find it that way. Yeah. if you
Good
believe
job,
that.
Ben.
I got a bridge for you if you believe that. Just came together.
Oh, the bark is very crisp and clear.
Mhm.
Well, the words too, you've done a good job of keeping all of the letters
Yep.
really sharp, because I mean, it is at an angle a bit, so you might have lost some in the depth of field when you got, I don't know what your settings were, so, but obviously you were able to soften the background. So well done, keeping it sharp in the front where it needs to be. Yep.
One thing I would say is I would have tried to walk a little bit and see if I could have got a shot without that stick in the front, or I'd see if I could try to like use the removal and get rid of that. Exactly. Because it kind of crosses over and takes away. The one on the bottom doesn't hurt me as much, but the other one goes right through the words. And that kind of, to me, I was like, I try to see if I could move a little bit so it's less right in the middle of my subject.
This one in Photoshop wouldn't be so hard because you could literally just clone this D. Right.
With that day, or
Yes.
honestly, Photoshop, the content aware has gotten so good because there's so much orange in the background, it might have been able to nail it. I would try that first and then try to replicate if it wasn't working.
Yeah, replicating might be easy, and this it's the solid orange color. I mean, there is some subtle, like hue differences or shade differences.
And you have another G to work with.
Multiple.
You're right, Sean.
Couple there.
I have two that are exactly the same size as that one. They're the same font size. So now the angle might not be the same. It might be a little bit difficult to get it to line up exactly, but
you can mess around with a perspective tool and make that fit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, the easiest thing to do would be to take a step to the left and hope that this stick just doesn't.
And get rid of
Yeah, those are
right.
And that's what I try to say. Remember, try to master as much as you can in the camera, because that way your post-production time doesn't take as long. But if you would have moved maybe a foot to the left, you would have still kind of got the same composition, but you wouldn't have had that stick directly through the D.
Yeah, and you might even
like your
take this, like move this tree over slightly, like the edge of the tree, and get more of the, the blurry background in there.
You might even be able to move the stick without damaging it and just sort of tuck it over on the other side of the tree if possible and get rid of it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it was shot at 300 millimeters, so I mean, I know you weren't all that close.
Yep.
But if you notice something like this happening, the easiest thing is either take a step, in this case, I think it would be to the left, or if you can just reach it, just break this twig like way down here.
Yeah.
Throw it on the floor.
Do not enter the break the
I was
twig.
trying to save the twig by
tree,
just
kill the
saying you
tree.
could bend it.
Leave nature in nature. 1 minute warning.
Well, maybe you could have put the stick behind the sign.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
or
also
even
an
that
option.
would work. Yep, that would have worked too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to.
So yeah, that's just it's it sounds like a picky thing, but it's just the one thing that gets it out of the letter. And the letter is so strong. That's what you want to see is the letter D.
Yeah, overall, the composition would just be better if.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's still it's a cool photo, but it's so simple, and it took a while to kind of walk my way through it all, but it's still a cool photo.
No, and I do love that milky background too. I mean, you can see that there's a lot of things going on back there. So it's obviously a dead end that you don't want to go to, but it's not taken away by attention.
I know, and that's what I was thinking. Like, if you could get the edge of this tree moved over slightly, just by taking that step or two to the left, then it becomes a little bit better of a storytelling image, because now you have more of this. You know, sort of like what Jared is saying, representing the dead end.
Yep.
You know,
Nice. It's a nice. I mean, I like the fact that it does have that bright orange that pops off the tree. So it's like, okay, this is your warning, because, and then you look in the background, you go, okay, there is a dead end.
Oh, sorry. Girls. Sorry,
That's our time anyway, Pat. Thank you. The dogs were like, keep an eye on the timer as well.
all right. All right. Okay, so anybody, anything else for Mike? All right, Mike, just like I just told your wife, you know, good job, even just participating your first son. It's, you know, it takes guts to do it, so we appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, thank you, everyone. Appreciate the input.
It's a
All
little
right.
nervy.
Next up, we have Ms. Monique Boudreau.
That's a lemon that was tainted or turned orange in Photoshop. I can tell by the look of that.
It's really an orange.
The specular highlights are really cool.
Oh, they're awesome. They're gorgeous. I would.
Did you backlight it?
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering. It's like, it looks like the light's shining through the orange.
It is backlit, so this was kind of a disaster. So it's actually hanging from a string, and that's why on the bottom right-hand side, it's not super crisp, because it was actually like folding itself over. So the super thin piece in order to get the light to shine through that much. I was channeling my inner Athena. I completely thought of you the entire time.
Athena better watch out, because we may all start imitating her and then we won't know which pictures are hers.
Right?
I bet hers.
Oh, no. She has her own distinct
I
style.
love this. I love this so much.
Yeah.
That could be a an October challenge.
Emulate Athena. Emulate Athena.
So for this one though, the way to avoid this would be to get it down onto something that you can then shine it, like find like a coffee table or something that has a glass top.
Okay.
You know, and then you can shine the light up through it. But you
like a light box kind of.
Yeah, same idea, but at least then the slice of orange is laying flat, which will then keep your focal plane even throughout, which will then make sure your edges are sharp, because that's something like this, you really want it to be sharp pretty much everywhere you look, right? So, and I wonder too if a white background wouldn't have been a better option. Just a thought.
Yeah.
One other thing I was thinking of would be, so you got a good amount of breathing space on the top, but on the bottom it looks really cramped down there. I would have actually just, and that's pretty easy to do in Photoshop, to add a little bit of material down below and then just take the color and do like a fill, and then it will just create black, and it'll create more balance between the up and the down portion of the image.
So that was totally a cropping error, because it was definitely shot pretty wide. So I'm not really sure why I decided to crop it that tight, because I was trying to make it, originally I had it being square, and then I decided to kick it to a bunch of
So I think square would have worked really well with this.
Yeah, I was just gonna piggyback on what Jared said, and yeah, if you had squared this so that it was even on the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah, would have been great.
You
Yep.
just right dead center, right where it should be.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the idea
Definitely.
is fantastic to shine light up through it like that.
Yeah, and I'm
Gorgeous.
so impressed with like how like those little specks are just like glowing. I love it.
I want to know what kind of glitter you used for those little specks.
Yeah, so I actually started.
Did you paint them online?
No, I deleted some of them though.
You did a great job controlling the light too, because especially where it's coming through like a surface light, or it's very liquidy. So I mean, you could have gotten a lot of blown out detail, and you really didn't lose any blown out detail.
Thank
you. Did you cut this out of a different image and then put it on the black background?
I had to cut, so the image, the background was it wasn't even. So the black and the white, was just like a super charcoaly and then black. And I did try and go into Photoshop, which I'm not very good at. So even when I was like bumping not very close, it was still getting black on the edge. And I decided that I had played around with it for enough hours today that I was calling it.
Oh,
But I just don't know enough how to like get rid of some of that.
you want to know a trick? You want to know a
Yeah.
trick? Okay, so look how harsh that little section that you just did. Look how it's, use your blender tool.
Okay.
Mush it. Not
Mush
don't
it.
stretch it, just blur it. If you
Yep,
blur
yep.
it, it's gonna soften that edge because all the way around it looks a little blurred right on the edge. Just use the
Right.
blending, the blur tool.
Right,
Okay.
but
Yep.
you're talking about blurring the selection, right?
When you finished it, did you flatten it? I would flatten it and then blur that harsh edge. That's what I
I
would
did
do.
not flatten it.
Yeah, yeah. Or whatever. Were you working in layers at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so the layer that came out really a little, I mean, it's sharp, it's beautiful sharp on that edge. On that layer that was sharp, I would maybe create a duplicate layer and then blur it and see what it looks like so that you don't mess with that. You work with the duplicate layer. Yep, that's what I would do. See what happens.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We have less than a minute.
Yep. I cheat all the time. I do. I cheat all the time, and that what it's
Just using your resources wisely. That's all.
That we all do.
Yeah, yeah.
We all do. I've literally taken the car and just mirrored the other side of it to make sure that it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever works.
Yep.
Honestly, whatever works. Yeah.
Whatever works. That's right. You're after a
Whatever.
final image.
Yep.
I love the
Thank you,
idea.
guys.
Monique. Great job.
Thank you.
Nice
job.
Love it. Monique, you're so creative.
Thank you. My goal was always to think outside the box, even though it was like literally an orange. I was like, yeah, something different to do with it.
Yeah, very cool.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Anything else from Monique? I think she told her we're in our 1 minute warning. So.
I did. I gave myself a 1 minute warning.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Next up, Nikki French, who, in case you guys weren't paying attention, won a judges award this last weekend at the NHPPA competition.
Yay!
Yep. Pretty awesome.
Oh, Nikki, this is stunning.
It is quite beautiful. Well done.
I love the tool at the bottom. It's like,
Oh my, I love the glow that's coming through that like veil that's
Yeah.
on the bottom. Or,
Mhm.
Oh, that's just very lovely.
Who doesn't love Tool?
right?
Very good. Very good.
It's finished so nicely too.
And there's so much that the unexpected, and it definitely just takes it up a notch.
Well, I think so. Earlier we were talking about complementary colors, and we have a very good example of it here.
Mm-hmm.
This sort of grayish, bluish, whatever you want to call it, on both sides complements this orange with the greens. Like it's a beautiful palette altogether. And this is what can be accomplished if you start working around, working with complementary colors and actually building a palette out. So I don't know how much of that was actually accomplished on set and in camera, or some of it maybe was done in Photoshop. I don't know if Nikki can fill us in.
Are you here, Nikki? She here?
Oh, maybe
She
she
was
was.
here.
She was here.
I thought she was.
No, she's gone.
Well, she's
That's all
got some grandpuppies to be taken care of,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, she is
Oh,
there.
she's there. She's there with her color wheel.
She's
You're
there.
on mute, Nikki.
Oh, there's Nikki.
Yeah, this is a color wheel that I keep on my desk. Just
Ah.
so I can have the complementary colors, make sure I'm not going off with them. I actually had wanted to do this outside against the shed door that is this really pretty blue that would have complemented this, but unfortunately the wind didn't cooperate today. So I decided to come inside, learn some of the stuff we learned this past weekend with lighting, and play around with it. I'm going to go back and play some more tomorrow. I don't like how bright the light is coming through the flowers on the bottom.
Maybe about the little
I think
white
I'll
ones.
try to
Like right here.
diffuse,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'll try to diffuse the flashlight a little bit. It's just a small flashlight. It's no bigger than this. But I'll try to diffuse that. The tool did diffuse it some, but I was just trying to play around, see what I could do with it. I took several different shots. I did do stacking with this with the light to finish it off. But we'll play around some more to see what we can do with this one here. So,
Nikki, are the branches attached in the back? Is that part of the same arrangement?
well, actually, this is an Easter. The daffodils died. So I just put the roses in this. It's something I made up for Easter for family members.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah,
Just
so it
make
is. Yeah, it's a
ones-
cross in the back. If
would
I'd
just
been,
I love it, Nikki. The only, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I would have put more greenery in it, but I didn't have any here.
The only little thing that I see is one branch in front of one of the calla lilies, and the branch that goes across, I'd like to see that go all the way out of the print,
Out
but
of the shot.
I know there's nothing you
Yeah.
can do about
One at a
that.
time.
Yep, I can see it now.
Oh, you mean up here?
Now to
Yeah,
the
right there,
right.
that just
Yeah.
sort of dead ends, do not enter.
The other thing I was thinking too is you got a lot of that forsythia yellow flower in there. I'd like to see some of that on the left side too, because it kind of draws
More
me to there's that
balance.
one in the upper right hand corner, the balance of that. I think a couple on the left hand corner would be helpful for me.
Yeah,
Agreed.
even
It's,
if you put
it's
it right in
just
front of
slightly
that
off
dead end
balance,
stick.
but it's just slightly off balance, but it's just so beautiful on the inside what you have there in the flowers.
I think just the bouquet itself and how it's lit. I mean, obviously, I know you said the stuff between the little white flowers, but just the foreground, that is just gorgeous. I
The
love
foreground is
that with
amazing.
a passion.
I
Nikki,
know.
if you're gonna continue to play with it, I might suggest getting rid of the cross behind it. I think it's a little distracting. It's a little much because the flowers are so dynamic and the color palette is so beautiful, especially with your tool on the bottom. I'm getting distracted by the branches at the top.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I think too, if it wasn't there, then you wouldn't have,
Oh, you have a
it sort of
totally
breaks
different
up
image.
this beautiful color harmony you have going on here. It breaks it up maybe a little too much. And then if you got rid of it, it would allow you to crop in maybe a little bit tighter too.
If you
We have
have
about 30 more
it,
seconds.
if you have it in your name that it has something related to Easter, the cross makes sense, but I do agree that it needs to go all the way off on the camera left. The other thing, Nikki, as far as, I love every flipping thing that you ever do. If with the presentation, for me, the presentation is so bright. My eye tends to go out of the shot and into the frame that you've got it on. This is PPA related, which a lot of folks here may not understand. But if you took if you went like down low, camera left or camera right, and took one of those muted orange colors and try to frame instead within that color, I think it might be a little more pleasing to the eye and less pulling out of the flowers because they're ridiculous. They're so good.
Yeah, the matte is brighter than the flowers.
Just
It's number
too
one
bright.
matte.
Yeah, that's my thought, is it's just a little too bright.
I would almost want to see like even some of these tones in here maybe.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could. You
You
could.
know, or even like if you wanted to stick with the peachiness, just drop the brightness down and see
Yep.
what you get, you know.
Yep. Yep. Just move a little bit lower on the brightness scale. Yep.
Nice job, Nikki.
It's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
How many more do we have to go, Sean?
Hey, honey. Joe. Yeah, she's out of bed.
Oh, child on the move.
Child's on the move.
Yeah, she's starting her big girl bed training, so she I just watched her
Now
get
she
up.
gets to make decisions. Yeah.
I just sort of watched her get up and walk across the room on the monitor.
So this is what I get to look forward to, huh?
You're supposed to be asleep. What are you doing? Where are you going?
Well, if she was going to get a book to read to put herself to sleep, that's okay.
That's fine.
But she can't read yet.
All right.
Nikki, I
You can
have,
look at pictures.
Oh, we got a comment.
yeah, wait a minute, comment. Nikki, when you were talking about the flashlight in the back, what if you put a piece of wax paper over the light to kind of diffuse it? Do you think that would take the brightness off that you were talking about? Is she there?
She gone again?
We might have lost her. She might not have heard anything I said about the frame.
She's right there.
Oh, no, I heard you. I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
Hi, honey. You're muted, probably.
Yeah,
You're
the
muted.
wax paper. I'm gonna try that tomorrow.
Yeah, you're probably just muted.
So all that said, Nikki, I mean, I don't know what this would score in competition. I don't think it matters. I think it's gorgeous. Even, what little warts you see and all, I think it's wonderful. So
Nikki.
I agreed. It's gorgeous.
Nikki, remember what Colby said? Make your art. Make your art.
Thank you.
Sometimes forget about those rules and just make your art.
That's
Just
what
look
I'm
what
trying.
happens.
I'm trying to learn what you learned this past weekend and play
Yeah.
around with it and as I said, experiment.
yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I said to everybody else, they probably won't get the framing and what I call the presentation because they're not PPA, because that's a PPA thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
And-
otherwise,
And in competition, you would get points off for this.
because it's so light. But that's competition. Competition is competition. Guess what? I prefer the make your art,
But
my friend.
we say
But
these
I
things.
think it's gonna benefit people if we sprinkle in information like this.
Oh, it
People who might
absolutely
wanna-
does. It absolutely does.
And we say these things to Nikki because she may very well be thinking of taking something like this into districts and other competitions. So it's helpful to hear those things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And if Easter is in the name, that's one of the other things that somebody mentioned. If Easter is in the name, the cross adds to the presentation of the image.
storytelling is one of the 12
Yes,
elements.
storytelling
Forget
is
that.
there. Yep.
So, all right, I know we're way over 5, so we are
Sorry,
going to
we
move
did it.
on.
We did it.
Really, way to go, Nikki. Beautiful as always. Congratulations on the Judges Award again. So,
Thank
Hey,
you.
Nikki.
all right, and
Thank you.
unfortunately, Pat Corlin has to follow that. So here you go.
I know, right? Now I'm in, yeah.
Pat, was this in your neighbor's garden today?
This was the one, yeah. I wish would have made it perfect was if I had a glass of wine in my hand while I was sitting there in his garden and he stuck his head over the fence. Yeah. But I
You're
didn't.
taking a whole bottle from the NHPPA
Right,
conference.
I know, right? Lady, what are you doing?
Love
What
it.
are you doing in my garden? He has a whole garden of orange tulips, and this one didn't make it. It fell, which is why the name kind of fit. I named it "The Struggle Is Real" because the tulip never opened up, so it just was bent. But he has an orange door on his house, so he laid a whole bunch of orange tulips out in front last year, and it just jumped at me. So I sat in his yard. Technically,
And he didn't call the cops on you, so like.
no, technically I was my sit was on the sidewalk. But
Okay.
I was, yeah, technically, yeah.
I love the composition of this, Pat. The diagonal, that's just gorgeous.
Thank you,
It's
Jared.
really, really nice.
Thank you.
And was
Yep.
this on your iPhone?
It was. On
Very
my
nice.
iPhone. But I had to play with it. Some of the iPhone settings now, they're advancing quite a lot. So it depends on which one of the tools you're using with them. But you can change your f-stops and now and yeah. So and then in post-process, you can drop down your highlights and bring up your shadows and add a vignette. And that's kind of where I ended up.
Very nice, Pat.
Thank you.
It's almost like the dying and the new next to it.
Honestly, yeah. And I have to tell you guys, during COVID, I barely picked up a camera. I went the opposite direction. I couldn't get creative during it. And now I'm starting to feel inspired again, which is why I'm here with you guys tonight.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Because it's that interaction that we all have together. That's what I've been missing so much. So yeah, it helps. So comments are always welcome. I love it.
I love the depth of field, and for it being an iPhone shot and still getting that kind of depth of field, and that's just cool. I like that. It's really shallow.
I think you may have missed focus.
What? That was Sean, right?
There's Sean. There he
Just
is.
kidding. It is. Oh yeah. Oh no. Honestly, don't pixel dive because it'll
That's
be.
why we're here.
That's why we're here. It
There he
is.
is.
It is a cell phone. So yeah.
Okay, whoa.
Yeah,
You can manually focus with a cell phone. You can tell it where to focus.
you can. And I did intentionally set the depth down low, and I probably could have, brought it up a little bit more. So you could have got, when you dig in, you're
So
gonna,
My
yeah.
thought is, again, it's the closest thing to the camera as
Yep.
far as the flower is concerned.
Yep.
And if these two petals here and the way that they interact with each other, if that was your sharp point, it would be a stronger image. That's all I'm saying.
Correct. And all that is just where I placed myself. I tried to be as low as I possibly could, but I was interested in the lower part to get a little bit sharper. And I probably just had it tilted just enough the wrong way because it was such a tight f-stop.
Yeah.
So
Plus your
I
boy
agree with you.
hand-holding it.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I do. Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna make a comment that me being a painting major in school, this is a very Georgia O'Keeffe type of photograph.
Oop, new house in Mexico. That works.
Very feminine.
It is very feminine, and
Isn't it?
Yes.
It is extremely, incredibly. Yeah, I did the same thing when I was looking at it closely. It was like, oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That's like the boys.
Maxwell at night, like, what are you talking about? You have a 1 minute warning, so we're feeling all right
Actually, I
now.
was gonna say, I'm glad somebody else said it besides me, to be honest.
Yep.
with you.
Yep.
Yeah, same here, same here.
You're gonna.
You know, as soon as I said Georgia O'Keeffe, I knew exactly what she was talking
Yeah, I've
about.
seen it. You're incredibly
you.
astute.
Okay.
Flowers
So
and vegetables end up being very sexually presented. They do. They do. It wasn't my intention, but I saw it. Yeah.
But I don't think that I really don't think that you should walk away from that intention either, because
correct,
you are going to get that kind of a reaction.
Yep.
And especially the way that you shot it, especially the way that it is focused, especially the way that, like, even just towards, just the lines that you have. I mean, and the colors that you have. I mean, there is no way that you can get away from that focus. So you have to own it, and you have to
embrace.
So this is I mean, I'm gonna pull it into the art history books, and this is what you're gonna get out of it. And if you don't acknowledge the fact that that's what it looks like, or if you're going to ever show a photo like this, that you can't expect it not to be looked at it that way, and that's how it's going to reflect. And I think it's very beautiful and sensual how the way that you took the photo, and it's very soft, and it looks the way that it's supposed to look.
Doesn't bother me in the least. Yeah, I love that comment. I actually do. And it's fascinating to watch, especially when you get into fine art photography. It is, it's
Well,
definitely
to be compared to Georgia O'Keeffe, you can't complain about that, right? So
it's pretty good. Even the little bud on the side looks very humanistic in a number of ways. So yeah.
Well, on that note, that's time for this one.
Here we go. And we're out.
You're welcome.
And we're out. Yeah.
all right, way to go, Pat.
Thank you.
Awesome. Nice job.
Love it very much. All right, penultimate, Scott Thorpe.
Oh, please.
You sure that's not Deb Rollinger's cat there?
No, that's not Deb's cat.
No, mine's got white paws.
This cat pissed me off. I was trying to take pictures of the barn, and he kept rubbing up against my leg. And every time I'd get down to his eye level to get a photo, he'd walk.
Cat ass. You got cat ass.
After about 4 times, I'm like, all right, that's what you want me to take a photo of? That's what I'm taking a photo of.
That's what they want.
We get what we're given, guys. We get what we're given. And this is like,
God, he's flipping you off with his tail.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's saying you're number one.
It just reminded me of an old town cat.
Yep. I'm guessing.
And it does, especially where you've got like, you know, the traps and the sheds out back. Like that's a cat who knows what he wants, and that's it.
He's a beautiful orange. He is beautiful
Well,
orange.
he's definitely flipping you off with the tail.
As soon as I'd stand up, he'd come back and rub up against me.
Oh, he liked you. He was marking you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Could be a she. Could be a she. We can't tell because of the placement of the tail. So it's all good. It's all good.
I love it.
I love street cats. I love street dogs.
Yeah.
You know what? The cat makes this image.
Yes, it does.
Just gonna
It's a
say.
good story too. I mean,
Yeah.
you think about it, you
Story,
can come up with 100 stories for this cat. Like these are his streets, and no one else is gonna bother him on it.
He's got that typical cat attitude.
Don't cut off the rooftop.
I gotta say it, man. This photo's the cat's ass, dude.
And there's the dad jokes.
All right, I'm gonna mute myself now. Sorry.
Bye, Maddie.
No.
Never with this crowd do you
This
have
is
to
when it
mute
gets better.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, not with this crowd. We aren't exactly professional.
No, it's called real life. It's what we do. Yeah.
I missed the granddad joke. Thanks, Maddie.
The granddad
I
joke.
do like the crop without the telephone pole wire.
And the red of that house kept drawing me away from the cat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yep.
right? So
Yeah.
you know, and I feel like if you do that, you got to do this a little bit too.
Right, to balance it out.
Yeah.
You could replicate
Yeah.
the rest of the pole out.
It definitely looks like he owns the road now.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
got the leading,
stuff.
you get the leading lines too of the snow, takes you right up into those buildings.
Yep.
Fun.
Right up.
You know that you're in, yeah, you know you're in New England. You know where you are at, and it's like this is typical New England. Like this is what you get.
Did you name this image yet? It needs to be something.
This is the
Yeah.
cat's ass.
Yeah, there you go.
I would call it rejection.
That's good.
Oh, we digress.
I don't know.
Just
I don't know what a good name
gives
for
me
it.
that feeling like he's saying, I've had enough, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he's like, you don't have any lobster?
Right?
Hey, Sean,
You only get so much time with him, Sean. Yeah.
Sean,
Yeah.
Yes.
could you crop out that red boat on the left?
Can be done.
Yes, ma'am.
You know,
One more minute, Sean, while you're doing that.
Touche.
so get to cloning, boy.
Yeah. It's a great story. I like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It made us all laugh. It was really a good story.
It's such a great, like, almost like an old-fashioned street photography kind
Yeah.
of thing, you know, like you
Yeah.
see these types of photos from the back in the 60s and the film days. It's not quite sharp, but it tells such a good story, you don't care, you know.
You're dating him.
What would it look like in black and white?
Well, no, I'm thinking more of like, you know, like
That would be interesting.
Bressing's work and some of that kind of stuff, you know. Oh, what the heck is that? I don't want that.
Well, the black and white wouldn't fit with the orange category.
No,
I know.
No, it
And you're
loses
losing.
it. No.
You're losing.
Yeah,
on
no.
the
Yeah,
street.
it's the orange that does it.
It's the
Yeah.
orange that does it. And
yeah,
actually, the little square of orange up above, you can see he's got a little curve in his body.
Yeah.
He's like heading up to, and the right on camera, right, that harsh snow line going right to that square.
yeah, that's,
Yeah.
that's where he lives.
Fascinating.
Mhm.
He's taking you home.
And even to make a triangle just slightly. So if you go all the way to the left,
Yep.
at the end of that snow line, it's not even orange, but it's just slightly more yellow, that it just kind of keeps circling you around.
Yep, yep, indeed.
This is great.
Awesome.
This is a really fun one.
Might be my favorite of the night, you know, with the cat ass.
Oh,
Thank
God,
you.
good job.
Thank you.
All right, Sean, I think we're moving on to our last one, huh?
Last one. Last
Last
one.
one.
And it's Sharon Seward, who
And a beautiful sun.
Oh, look at that.
Orange
look at the
sun,
haze. The haze is
The
nice.
haze. the softness.
Mm.
You get some of the rays in there. That's perfect.
Reflections of the
beautiful
clouds in the
reflection.
water. Yep.
Like how the tree line is splitting in the center, like keep on coming, keep going. What's on the other side of that?
Hey,
Jared.
Sean, try to crop. Don't even go there, Maddie. Don't even go there. I know where you're going with that, Maddie. Don't even go there.
You know I
Hey,
love you.
I was like, Maddie, same thing, just like take that cloud that's on the top down and
I want to say crop down a little bit, so
Yep.
that way the horizon
boom,
is
boom.
dead
Take
center.
that top cloud out. That's all. That's all. Drop that down. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yep. And just
Warms
boom.
it up a lot.
That there you go. That's I like
Oh,
that.
I
like that crop.
Yeah.
Oh
See
yeah,
what
it's a
we
little
did?
more.
We-
Yeah.
It's just taking that beautiful horizon with the mist and everything up a little higher. You didn't need
Yeah.
the top cloud. That's all.
Yeah, you put your horizon line closer to the
Yep.
third line.
Yeah.
Not all reflections need to be right in the middle. You know, if you don't need some of the elements in the sky or even down here, you know, pick which side you want more.
I think the water should stay. I think the water's very cool.
Yeah.
Textures in it too with little ripples. I think it does more
Beautiful.
with the sky. So definitely crop down slightly. And I like it like
Instead
this.
of cropping up, crop down. Yes, I agree. Pretty, really pretty. Now we can all
You
go.
did a good job controlling the sun. You got a nice little starburst kind of coming off the top of those there. You did a really excellent job with that. Photographing the sun is difficult. I know firsthand.
Oh, I'm awful at it. It's when I see it well done.
Yeah,
I
those-
so appreciate
It's
it.
the brightest thing in the solar system.
According to the judges, it's possible to not overexpose it.
Just a very interesting comment.
Yeah. No, exactly. You know, I
You just said it.
experienced that this weekend, and I think she did a better job controlling the sun than I did this day.
Go.
Oh, thanks.
There you go.
I got tired of watching the news one morning and I was up early, so I said, I'm gonna go down to the lake.
Nice.
We're all tired of
Beautiful.
watching
So
the news.
calming. This
Oh.
photo is so
Good.
calming in nature. I think it's beautiful.
Nice call. Yeah, it does. You know, it takes us down to as we fade out from all of the images that we just looked at. I just gave a group sigh. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
I think it's a little too strong because it's making that sky look really blue in the corner.
No, I agree. I'm just messing around.
I figured.
So
No, and
overall,
even the shadows.
But if you're
even
gonna
the shadow
look
detail.
look at your color wheel and you're gonna look at your complementary colors there, the darker of the blue is going to make the orange pop just a little bit more, which just it adds a little bit to it, and you can almost see the starburst a little bit more when you pop that blue.
So I have a question for you. If the blue is too prominent for you, it's beautiful in the lake. It's absolutely stunning in the lake. If the blue is, if it's too blue in the top right, would you take the contrast down? Or would you take if you take the saturation down, you're going to do that universally. Will the contrast change it a little
You
bit?
could do a graduated filter from that
Yeah.
corner, and then I would
do-
just
that's
tone
what
it
I would do
slightly.
too.
Yeah.
Very subtle too, not much.
Yeah.
Do a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
linear
Not
gradient
much
like
at
this.
all. Just
Bring this down.
a little contrasty too much. Would that maybe
Probably not much
change it?
more than that.
So the question is, I'm saying, if you wanted to make the adjustment, how would you make the adjustment?
I would then probably go directly to my HSLs. And
That's
just
what I was gonna say.
bring
Yeah.
down that specific saturation.
Down the blue a little bit? So I
Yeah,
can
and then
still
I would try to see if I could mimic the water the way I wanted to, and then try to counteract that with a filter.
So it's a little softer. Look at the difference. It's a little
It's so
softer.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little softer up there, but not on the water. You didn't change the water so much.
Yeah, it's
And I-
nice.
And the
I
other thing to do too is change the temperature of that space. Like if you feel like it's too blue, just put a little yellow in.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing I'm really like about this photo is because even with such a bright subject as the sun there, you can still see like the houses in the distance in the shadows, which is really hard to capture when you have a high contrast image like that. So
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
good
right in there.
shadows.
Yeah.
obviously you're gonna get some haze in there, but they're really nice.
The way
There's
this
about
one,
1 more minute on this one.
that all by itself is almost an image.
Yeah.
I
yeah, look
agree
at that.
very much
That's
so.
interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah.
Like just that one little house that's catching
Yeah.
the light and the reflections and the mist.
cool.
And I like the distance between it too, like with the wider angle. If you zoomed in with a telephoto on this one, you're gonna get more haze, so it won't be as crisp. So I think I like leaving it back too and making a smaller little subject. It's really nice.
Okay.
I mean, anytime you're
Yeah, I
doing
feel like there's a
foggy
lot of-
images like this, always sort of zoom in close and see, because you can almost always pick something out that you didn't notice in the moment.
So I think I know what Asina's gonna say. What if you dropped
Oh,
in
that's
more
beautiful.
water than sky?
What's
Here,
that?
where your take? So you got the
I was
cloud.
gonna take it just keep moving to the left just a little bit. Like I like this kind of, but just a little bit more of that sun, because I just feel like those sun rays that are coming out are so important to this
amazing.
image.
Yeah,
I would try
So
one
like
thing I
still
noticed
zoom
is,
in, but like
one thing you gotta be careful with the sun though is if you do something like that is then it becomes really bright on that side of the image and
Right.
it pulls your
Yeah.
attention away from it. So
Yeah.
you either gotta remove it because
Or put
it'll be too much of an attention grabber.
Whereas like when you're zoomed in
Mhm.
tight like this, the subject is what you're going for is sort of this vanishing point here. This is a really cool element, and the fog. So, and you can leave some of it over here, but anything much more than that starts to get real distracting. It starts pulling you
Okay.
away from the
Plus
detail.
it pulls your eye to the left, to the brightest part. Yeah.
because that is such a beautiful line, like just along the top of that water.
pretty.
It is such a beautiful line, and I didn't notice it when you had it as the full image until you zoomed in, and it is so pretty.
I mean, if we were to just like actually crop it so we can see it, like I'd probably get it all the way in tight like that. And something, I don't know, maybe even, I don't know where exactly we would want that
I
element.
think you wanna leave more sky and a little bit higher. There you go,
A
there.
little bit higher above that cloud.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah,
awesome.
you want that
Yeah.
cloud. You want that.
I like that.
No.
This one I want more sky because then the horizon's below it and then you still get that really cool like effect of the water leading to you.
So,
And
but
it's
if
those
you
little
left,
reflections that you get just at the very base of those trees. Yeah, exactly where you're pointing. The little ripples.
yeah,
That's
and
so
if
interesting.
you left much more of the sun in here, your eye would just be being dragged away from all this really cool, the textures and stuff.
Right.
But then is it orange? Are we still talking about orange?
Looks
I
orange
still
to
see a
me.
lot
That's
of,
the
I still see a
challenge.
lot, I still see a
see
lot
a lot
of
of
orange
orange.
in this.
Orange hues through all
There's
of this.
orange in it, but is it considered orange?
Yeah, it's orange hues. They
I
definitely.
would, I
Well, I
would.
mean, our rules have always been, how do you interpret how does the maker interpret, the challenge?
A good
I'd
point.
say that's
And that's
more
what-
orange than my crazy stuff, so that's orange.
It's probably more orange than that cat.
But that's just an example of this beautiful image full. And when when you're shooting wide angle, you've got a number of images inside the image.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I mean, that's beautiful in itself. And then you can pick away and come in through, and it is.
See, I like that.
Artist
If you go
decision.
back, how you just had that image, if just with the sun in the background, like that to me was the way to. I know you lost it now, but
Well, I mean, I like this too. I just,
Right.
when I was zoomed
Right.
in, I just started to I saw this.
Correct. And how do you work that specific section of that image? And yeah, I agree with you. If you put too much brightness on the left, it's going to draw your eye away from that focal point, which is pretty stunning.
There's something the way, for
Mm.
me, there was just something the way the light was coming across this line here.
Yeah.
Right
Taking
to
you
this
to that.
house, and
Taking you to that.
and just
Yeah.
fantastic. I just love that.
Mhm.
Like the actual sunset itself, or sunrise itself, the sun itself isn't necessary for this image.
Whose was this?
So I could have like 3 different images out of that one.
Oh, easy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
But that, as the artist, is your choice.
it's your choice. These are just ideas.
That's right. That's right.
Excellent job, everybody, tonight.
Yeah,
I
right.
know, right?
Tonight.
yeah, really great job.
Thank you.
All right.
Sorry I was late.
All right.
Who was that? Is that Matt?
I
Is
hope
that
your dinner was
Matt?
good enough.
Yeah, it's Maddie.
This was a fun challenge.
Yay.
You can thank Scott for that one.
Oh, Scott,
Yeah,
did
Scott
actually
came up
get,
with orange.
this was fun.
Yeah.
I did actually send one in, but I didn't do something right. It didn't make it.
Oh, it's not
Oh, no.
there.
Oh, no, hold on,
Oh, that's
let me
okay.
just double check.
Hold on, we got one more to
Did
come. You
we
got
miss
Pat's.
it?
Maybe I missed it. It's probably the case. Let me see. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you found
Bad,
it?
Sean.
Now we gotta go back to
Well,
Pat.
I sent something right after it that got picked up on, so it must have gotten lost in there.
Yep, that's my fault. Hold on a second. I'll get it imported and we'll talk about it. 'Cause it's nice. I like it.
And that's good. So that's an example. If you don't see your work here and you think it should be in there, just ask. Because yeah, it's probably there, right?
Yeah,
Sean?
most likely it was something, it's my fault, not yours.
Well,
If
it's
I
usually
pick on
mine.
Sean, you all know it's because I love him. You know that.
Don't you worry, Pat. We're gonna scold him.
All right, so import. All right, let's see, here we go, share. All right, there it is.
Hello, Robin.
Ooh.
Is that tack sharp eye? Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I have my
That's amazing.
glasses on.
Oh, thank
I
you.
think-
Okay, so
I think
pull it a little bit
probably
and it's landing there, and we get some berries.
Yeah, I think it is tack sharp. I think the red-
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's beautiful.
yeah
Look at his long legs wrapped around
Framed.
that branch.
framed with red, no less.
Well,
Yeah.
thank goodness we didn't miss this one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Pat.
Well, thanks. I don't like the yellow leaves, but I didn't deal with them. I didn't do anything.
I think it's just
Okay, so
just an easy burn. You're good to go.
You can change
well,
the hue. of
okay,
that
so
color.
here's from an art perspective, you're gonna look at, you've got those yellow leaves and you've got the red berries, but if you mix those two colors together, you're gonna get orange.
That's
So
right. That's
in
right.
the grand scheme of things, it's not officially orange, but the more you look at it, that those two colors, if you're really interpreting it, that is the color that you should interpret it as. So I feel that it's all orange all over.
You can tweak that
With a
yellow
big
so that it's,
orange bullseye right in the middle.
Well, one of those leaves does has an orange hue to it.
Yes.
I just think that the yellow ones are distracting. But was it Maddie who's saying I can
No.
do something different?
yeah. If you can actually in the HSL, you can go in there and actually adjust the hue of the yellow and make it a little more orange tone.
Okay.
You can make it a little less bright with luminous. Part of that feature.
You have a really nice balance
Yeah.
of the whole photo. Like I don't feel that it's off balance because you have like a really thick, like the thick image of the berries up at the right top hand corner, but then it's weighed out. Like if the bird wasn't there, it would be off balance, but the bird weighs that corner down without being it right in the opposite corner, and it's a lovely composition.
You know what I really find intriguing on this one, Pat, is the natural framing that you have too, with
Yeah.
the branches,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
just really helping the image across 100%. Because I look at it, and the bird's my main focus, but like all those little tree limbs are kind of helping you stay inside the part where the bird is and not drawing you away too much. So the leaves are not as distracting to me as they may be to you.
Yeah.
It looks like something on a postcard or a card. That picture. Could be a card.
A calendar.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I like it.
I like how the drops of water in the background create little like specular highlights that kind of look like little Pokeballs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if turning the saturation down a bit on the red berries might make the bird, it might not distract so much from the bird though.
Yeah.
They do look very, very bright.
Yeah, where the
You can-
orange in the bird is more subdued.
And if it's not saturation, you might try brightness in the color. If you go into that scale,
I've
instead
got to
of,
learn, yeah, I have to learn Lightroom. I do mostly Photoshop, and with the birds, I do almost nothing in editing. So it's, yeah, that's. I
you
like
can
that
go
better.
in Photoshop, you can go into selective color. Now he's got red in him. He's definitely got red in him. So if you start messing with your red, you're probably going to mess with his body as well.
Same with yellow.
But just keep your eye on it. But if you create the selection, like what is happening right now, the outside, if you invert it, the outside will be affected, but the inside will not.
Which is what I did, yeah.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
lowered the saturation all around the bird.
Right, but the bird stayed untouched. So
Right.
that's really important. But honestly, even with, I mean, there's a lot going on in this image, but there, to me, there is no doubt where my eye falls, and it is right on that robin's chest. It
I
is.
agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a whole combination of things going on, and I think you've nailed the fact that this bird is where your eye falls.
Oh yeah. This is
I would
beautiful.
love to see this in print.
Could be
It's
fun.
very, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I can try it.
Could be
But
fun.
yeah, see, but just doing the subtle thing, like getting rid of like what Sean's doing here, just dulling down those colors on the
Did
exterior.
you just
it's
vignette
not
that
taking away.
too? Did you vignette that too, Sean?
No, it was vignette. I didn't. All I've done is I just reduced the saturation around the robin and then increased it a little bit on his chest.
Yeah.
I think that's helping the vignette show up more too.
But the vignette, I think, was already there.
Yeah, I think
I
it
put
definitely,
yeah.
changed. Are you in Lightroom or Photoshop right now? You're in Lightroom. Okay. Yeah.
That one leaf behind his head is still kind of pulling me away.
The one on the left, upper left.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could probably
Like right
clone
behind
that.
his head.
You know what? If
That was the time that's right.
you can clone that one leaf out behind his head,
This one?
it might.
Yeah.
Yep, it might be what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But my eye still falls to the bird because the bird is in front of that leaf. So
the bird's
Yeah, I keep getting pulled back and then like it's
yeah,
tension. I keep getting pulled back and then look at the bird and then
yeah. So
happens
yeah,
that
you know
week?
what? I would try cloning out that particular leaf behind the bird's head. That might be fun.
I tried doing a little bit, but I'm not skilled at doing it with all that stuff in the background. It just seemed like,
and that's
I don't know, Photoshop and Lightroom have changed since I used to use it years ago, and I have not gotten good at any of it.
Yeah,
One thing I would do.
Phone job in the whole world. That's for sure. That would be.
Yep.
difficult.
It's tricky. It's very tricky. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I would do, Pat, too, is, and I would do this, and just when you do it, create a new layer on top of this that mask over it, and then just play with it. And if it's not working out for you, delete the layer and start again.
That's right.
Or go back and erase it.
Yep. Don't work on this particular layer because this is the original layer is beautiful. You don't want to lose anything. Yep. Definitely create a layer to work on.
The best thing to do in order to get better at that cloning and stuff like that is just to play with it, right? And just one day say, I'm going to see if I can get that leaf out, and then practice. If you don't like the technique you're using, try a different technique. And you will find that once you do it more often and you just practice it, you'll get much better at it very quickly.
And go on YouTube, there's a million tutorials on YouTube.
Yep.
Oh god, yeah.
A million ways to work with it.
It's
The one thing I love.
Yeah, with time. You're right. It's
It is a
okay.
lot of
Yeah,
time,
we get
yeah.
time.
No doubt.
One thing I love about this image is this bird is sitting in an enormous amount of food.
Yeah.
It's just like
That's one lucky bird.
perfect, one lucky bird, the perfect place for it to be.
If
And
it eats too
but
many
it's all
berries, though.
the spring berries that have been sitting there over the whole winter.
Yeah,
Correct.
if you use too many of them, they've been fermenting and he'll be a little drunk.
Drunk.
That would be fun.
A drunk robin. Yeah.
Drunk Robin.
Good submission.
Oh, beautiful picture, Pat. I'm glad this one came up at the end.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that you did it too. I'm glad you said something.
Yeah, definitely. Don't let us miss it. If you submit something, it's very possible I opened the email and then when I went to go download everything, I missed it. So, yeah, definitely speak up because I'm not very good at this.
This is a good story. This is a good
You're doing
story.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Excellent job, everybody. Nice job.
Bravo, well
Yeah.
done.
Bravo.
Yes.
Hooray.
Right.
All right.
well-
I have to take off, so
We
bye,
do.
everybody.
Bye,
And,
everyone. That's it anyways. So,
I gotta
yeah, we'll see you
fly,
all in a
so-
couple of weeks back at our pack.
Thank you.
Have
All
a
right,
great night,
guys.
guys.
Oh, wait, what's the next challenge?
Oh,
Tabletop.
Tabletop.
Tabletop, okay, got it.
Tabletop or still
Still
life,
life,
whatever you
yep.
want to call
A
it.
still life, okay, got
Still
it.
life.
I'll
Got it,
post
got
it.
Just want to confirm. Okay, thanks. Good night, you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
everybody.
Everyone.
Night.
Take care.
Bye.
All right.